What is up, YouTube? It's Metatronics. So I've been getting a lot of requests for Adventure Time characters, but the next most popular after Princess Bubblegum has got to be the Ice King. And it makes sense. You know, he's a big part of the story. He's one of the main characters. You run into him a lot on the adventures. But anyway, so we start off with his body. I used the oven mitt shape, and I give that an outline. His, the body's color is obviously that deep blue. And the outline, I had trouble getting the outline to look just right. The oven mitt's one of those shapes that you kind of have to free scale it a little bit. I have this at a really high speed, and so it took me probably 30 seconds of messing with the outline to make it look like I wanted it to. It may not take you that long, but I was having some issues. The next is going to be his beard and his head. For his beard shape, I just used a circle that I squashed into a big, long oval, which looks like his beard. Surprise, surprise. And I give that an outline. And I know I say this in every one of my videos, but how to give the outline, just duplicate the layer, put it in the background, change it to black, and then enlarge it. Then for his head shape, I used the lamp shade, which I just kind of make it blend right into the beard. I made my beard just a off-white color. Now we're going to go to his face. And to make those little jagged edges that his beard has that leads into his face, I do a star, which I squash down into kind of just a squatty star shape. And then I take some of the sharp-edged triangles, which are called triangle wide in the editor, and put them so that basically there's a longer point that gets pointed to the outside. You see me kind of like get confused, like, wait a second, which one's the long side here? And I figured it out eventually. And you want all this to be that blue color of his skin, which is not quite a baby blue, but not quite a deep blue either. It's somewhere in between. Then I take the rounded square and squash that down into more of a rectangle shape and kind of make his head look a bit like Frankenstein. I had to get rid of those other jagged edges, and this will look a lot better here in a sec. Right now he looks a bit like a weird Frankenstein, but he's going to look much better. So for his eyes, they're just little tiny white circles with a black outline. And the black outlines are really easy. Copy, paste, make them bigger, turn them black. It's real simple. Next will be his nose, which I use the golf flag shape, and I squash it down so it's real thin. I give it a flip so that the point goes to the left side of his face, and I change it to that skin color too. Now he's starting to look a little bit more like the Ice King. And so after that, we're going to start doing his crown. And for his crown, I use the half circle shape, which I kind of squash to a really shallow, almost visor looking shape, which I put at the top of his head. And you're going to color that the goldy yellow color that his crown is. And then you're going to take some more of those triangle wide shapes, the sharp triangles, and make two smaller thin ones that are going to go on the edges, and then one that's a bit bigger in the middle. And you're going to, of course, color this one gold as well. It is part of his crown. And then after this, we're going to start with the mouth and the tongue. The mouth, I use the half circle shape. Make it look a bit like a smile. I made mine just a little deeper than the standard, so that he's got a pretty deep smile. You want it pretty big and off-center. You want most of it to the right of his nose. And then for the tongue, it is going to be another half circle shape, surprise, surprise. And for the teeth, it's going to be more of those triangle wides. Now, I wind up changing the teeth just a little bit. I don't put two on the bottom. I get rid of the smaller one on the bottom eventually, because I need those layers for other things. And you'll see there's kind of like two endings to this one. There's going to be one version of the Ice King that has a little arm and he's waving at you, and another version of the Ice King which I personally like much better, and that's the reason why I decided to change him up some. For his eyebrows, I used the lampshade shapes and just squash them down, which gave him a very nice eyebrow-like shape. I kind of, at first I didn't know exactly which shape to use, and then I saw that and I went, it's perfect! I'll take two! So that's what you're going to use, lampshades. Now, I don't know why I did his eyebrows and then popped his tongue in there. It's just the way it happened. Deal with it. So Next, we're going to do his arm, which I found to be really difficult and kind of a waste. Like, it didn't look as good as I'd hoped it would, and there's what I felt was some important details that I was forced to leave out when I added the arm because I was just using up those layers. So if you do want to add the arm, you're more than welcome to do so. I just used that half circle outline and then bent it so it was pretty long and it looks like he's raising his arm, and then I used that little guy for a fist. You probably could just use a circle or something like that. He looks kind of like he's throwing a hand or a fist into the air or something. And I thought, like, oh, that looks pretty great. I'll just start doing his outlines and for his face. Well, so I basically just duplicate, put things in the background where they need to be, and color them black so that you get the outlines. Well, after I did those things, I was like, he looks really awesome, but it's just not quite right. What is missing? And then it hit me. He has no jewels in his crown, and that really bugged me really badly. So I went back and I was like, okay, there's got to be some layers I can get rid of here and keep this looking right. So I got rid of the hand, got rid of the arm. I get rid of the tongue and the tooth, the smaller tooth, but I miscounted layers, and so I was like, oh, I don't have to get rid of those guys. I can keep the tongue. I still get rid of the smaller tooth, but then I'm able to add the jewels to his crown, which, no pun intended, the crowning jewels to doots. But I think it looks absolutely perfect now, and I hope you guys do too. So there we go, put his tongue back in, and then pop the jewels in his crown, and it's about to look perfect. Look at that. There's the Ice King. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you want to see next, Adventure Time or not. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I do these pretty regularly, and if you like them, you probably don't want to miss any of my other ones. And make sure you subscribe. It's just as easy as that. And if you haven't seen my other emblems yet, and this is your first time seeing my stuff, go ahead and click on them now. Those are my other guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's been Metatronics, guys. I'll see you next time.